That's right. That's my intro theme music right there. Troy, how's it going?
We're like so far advanced, we should get some like legit intro music instead of you beatboxing.
I think there is some. I'm pretty sure there is some.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Chelsea's nodding behind the scenes right now. There is.
Your producer's nodding that we have some. Okay,
yes,
good.
Yes, we do. And yeah, it's legit. It's legit. And I need to memorize it so that I can kind of, some of my favorite podcast hosts, they mimic it coming out of it. I just haven't got there yet.
No, I like it. You're well on your way.
That's right.
We're well on our way here.
We're well on our way. We're getting there, folks. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Welcome to Behind the Start Line. My name's Eric Burnett. I'm here with my co-host, Troy Schooley from P3R. And we're just super pumped. Troy, I don't know if you noticed yet. We do a little bit of talking before we officially start recording, but last week, you wore just a really rad shirt. I commented on it, and so did you pick up on this? Did you see?
I kind of did. I kind of didn't, but I forgot that last week I wore a floral print.
No, that means it's not good enough.
No, it's solid. I like it. Are those little boats?
Thanks. They're boats. Yeah,
all right, that's cute.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, it's very summery. I mean, we've had a great summer. We're getting into fall now, but I think that's season appropriate, so good job.
Thanks again. It was kind of the most like,
it's for our YouTube. Our YouTube views are way up.
Yeah, and it's because of your floral print.
I would assume it's because of the floral that I wore.
Totally. So I just had to keep the momentum going. Hopefully the boats live up to it. We'll see what happens.
All right, we'll see how the views are on this one. Yeah.
Nice.
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, we've got so much exciting stuff. I am really jazzed right now. We have a great guest who we're going to talk to a lot of these things about as well. But something I really can't hold back on right now is just some breaking news about, at least it was breaking news for me. I might have been kept out of the loop. I'm not sure. And maybe you can let me know if this is broken. Did it break?
Do you subscribe to our emails? Go ahead. Break it for the rest of you.
I'm going to break it for the people who are not subscribed.
There you go.
So the marathon this year in 2021, rather, May 2nd, P3R is doing a very cool thing for our Run for a Reason charity fundraisers. Now, it's the first 500 people. This is an amazing program, by the way, but the first 500 people who complete their fundraising, so who reach that target goal, which is
$1,500. $1,500. Yep.
They are given the ability, they get the VIP experience is what it's going to be, and they'll be running the second half of the marathon as a half marathon. So they'll do the back end of the course, which has never been done before. It's essentially a brand new race on marathon weekends, but there's only 500 people who are going to be eligible to run for it. So it's a super elite experience.
Right. And it's like it could be like a once in a lifetime. But the reason why we did it is for our Run for a Reason charity program.
Yep.
It's a great way to raise a ton of funds and give people an experience of a lifetime, really.
Yeah, I mean, talk about the ultimate incentive to run a part of the course that's never been run from a half marathon standpoint before. Do you want to get into Run for a Reason right now, or do you want to talk a little bit more about the incentive? Because I'm excited about both. I could go either way.
Well, the incentive is tremendous. I mean, raise $1,500, pick any of your favorite charities. You might not have been a Run for a Reason charity runner last year, but this might entice you to jump in and give $1,500, raise $1,500 for one of our great charities. But it's really, like you said, Eric, at the beginning, it's going to be red carpet. I mean, we're going to have shuttles that take people out from downtown to Oakland. The start line is going to be awesome. It's only 500 people at a half marathon start line in the middle of Oakland. I mean,
that's incredible,
tremendous. The back half is going to be designated with some signage, so your mileage. Because normally the back half we would just have the 15-mile marker, the 17-mile mark, all the different markers.
Right.
So they'll have individual signage. There's just a lot of things that we're going to do for these people because they're going to raise close to $1 million for charity. And that's important for us.
Yeah.
In those neighborhoods.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
It's tremendous. I mean, if you think of the neighborhoods on the back half of the course and the neighborhoods on the front, south side, west side, north side, they do a great job. But the back half, I mean, you've got obviously Oakland, Homewood, Squirrel Hill, all the fan support back there. The support that they give our runners on a year after year basis, Bloomfield, it's
Highland
tremendous.
Park, Friendship, all that.
Yeah, there's so many great. I mean, it's tremendous.
And I feel like I almost feel like it's it's just how homes are built there. There are more porches, and that's what it comes down to is on the back half, there's just the homes have porches and people just sit out or they walk to the edge of their lawn and they just like post up a Pittsburgh lawn chair and just cheer people on. And it's a party on that side. And not that it isn't going through the south side, not that it isn't on the front end, but I feel like it's a little bit more structured to be that way. And I also feel like the spectators understand, hey, this is the second half of a marathon.
Right.
So they're like,
these people are in their 18th mile.
Right. They need me right now.
Right. They're the support for these people.
Yep. So it's going to be a rare experience. Like you said, it could be a once in a lifetime experience for half marathon runners to experience this. And man, another reason why I might have to not be an announcer next year. I might have to.
We need you. We need you.
I need to clone myself.
We'll take you out sometime and do that back half on our own. Maybe you could be like the sample guy as we kind of work out the kinks of the back half.
That's no joke. Call me up.
So super exciting announcement.
Very exciting announcement. And built for the perfect program that you guys have. The Run for a Reason program started 8 years ago, and raised, gosh, I have the
$14 million
for a list of 26 or so charities, at least right now, that you have on your official site.
Official charities. I mean, but we'll have up to 100 charities, throughout the year. And I think the important piece of that is that some of our charities raise six figures. But some of the smaller charities, they raise $2,000, $3,000. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
that's a big fundraiser for them if they get 5 runners that run. It might be half of their yearly budget to support whatever their cause is. So we have charities of all sizes, which is super important to me to make sure that it's very inclusive. To make sure our bigger ones are taken care of, but if our smaller ones want to have a couple runners to come in and run, we open that up for them as well. So
totally.
Well, it's a great program. Bank of America has been so supportive of the program as the title sponsor. 2021 will be their 4th year.
Nice.
And by having their support, it's allowed us to be able to market the program. It's allowed us to spend money to put together videos, to spend more money advertising the program, so we have more runners that run for a reason. So their support is a big deal and takes us to that next level of fundraising, really.
Yeah, the everyman doesn't really think about all those things. The spending that goes into making it as big of a program as it is. So thank you, Bank of America, for doing that. That's incredible.
Right. And we talked about the unveiling of the back half marathon. It's just not about the back half marathon. Right. If you want to do your first 5K and raise money for American Cancer Society, that's a tease.
There we go.
In the business. But if you want to raise money for any of our charities, start out with the 5K or, start out with the pet walk. So I think that it's really accessible. Even if you register and you decided not to run for a charity, and then maybe in December, something might happen, or, you might see a commercial that you want to raise money for a certain cause.
Right.
You can go back in and change your registration form and attach yourself to that charity and start raising money for that cause.
Yep.
We want to continue to grow it. I mean, I think it's important for our numbers to get higher. And we felt by adding 500 right off the bat with the back half marathon, we could continue to raise our numbers.
So how do people get involved, Troy? It's on thepittsburghmarathon.com, correct?
Correct. You go to register and you register for any of our events. Very easy. We ask if you want to run for a charity, and there's a drop-down list of all of the charities.
So it's embedded in the registration.
Right. It's embedded in the registration. Yeah. Perfect. So it's all in one place now. You don't have to go outside of our registration platform, which I think makes it a lot easier for not just our registrants, but our charity our charity coordinators. So
totally
very easy, very accessible.
Yeah, and I saw if you want to do some research leading up to your registration, there's a program tab on the pittsburghmarathon.com. Scroll on that, and then there's a bunch of great programs that P3R has in place. But the Run for a Reason, it's just one of the first ones there. Click on that, and it'll show you all of the official charities that are on there, and you can do any research that you'd like. And
yeah, you can research. Something might kind of stick out as you register, and you can click back to the pittsburghmarathon.com and click through to that particular charity and really do some digging and make sure that that's the cause you want to run for. So yeah, I think it's very important.
Yeah, it's a really neat incentive. I mean, it's a really neat reason, like you said, reason to run. Sure. We're just at the tip of the iceberg, folks. We're going to go really to kind of the inner schematics of Run for a Reason. There's some big people moving things behind the whole program. The charity coordinators, it couldn't be done without them. And we are fortunate enough to have one of our primary charity coordinators with us today as our guest. So we're going to welcome her to the show right now. You ready, Troy?
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, Troy, what do you say we introduce our very special guest?
Let's go.
Let's do it. So we've been talking about the Run for a Reason, and this is a perfect representative of that portion of P3R. So let's go ahead and welcome right now one of our main charity coordinators we've got with us today, Emma Craven. Emma, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I think you're the perfect fit for this. I just did a little bit of research on how involved you are, not just with P3R Run for a Reason, but obviously with the American Cancer Society. And it just seems like it's a major part of your life, which has got to be really rewarding and just satisfying as well.
Yeah, it is. I've been involved in the American Cancer Society since I was about 12. So it started out as something I was being forced to go to by my parents. And then later in life, I was pretty much begging them to come to my events when I worked for the American Cancer Society. And I've been there for about 5 years. So I really can't picture myself anywhere else.
Yeah. So just tell us really quickly, you are the Senior Community Development Manager at the American Cancer Society. So, in a lot of ways that speaks for itself, but maybe just give us an idea of what your role is there, what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, so I actually started out in the Relay for Life world. Almost everybody has been to a Relay for Life event at some point in their life. And I slowly moved into our Determination Endurance series, which a couple of years ago, we only participated in the major marathons, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, the Broad Street Run. And now we have been branching out, thankfully, into the Pittsburgh area, which I'm super excited about. This is our 4th year in there. So we have been acquiring participation and partnerships in events globally, running, walking, hiking, biking, swimming, you name it, we have it. And it's a lot of fun. So day to day, right now I'm working on virtual events because that is our life right now. So we have some cool virtual events going on. But hopefully in 2021, we'll be back to running in person, and I will be coaching runners, mentoring them on fundraising, and just really giving them a unique experience when it comes to running.
Yeah.
Emma, we better be back in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
we're gonna lose our mind. We better be back.
That's our mantra here on Behind the Start Line. It's just back in 2021.
That's back in 2021. Emma, you talk a little bit about your background with American Cancer Society, and on this podcast, we talk about a lot of stories. And I know that so many charity coordinators have unbelievable stories, whether it's yourself or people that have ran for the American Cancer Society. Can you share a story with us? Because there's so many riveting, just tear-jerking stories. So that would be great.
Honestly, when I started working for the American Cancer Society, I was not personally affected by cancer in any way. And I really joined because I've had countless friends who have had parents go through it, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, you name it. And upon entering into the American Cancer Society, my dad was actually diagnosed with prostate cancer, which is very common in men and is very treatable, but still is scary. And also the same year, I was getting married. And I remember at one point, my dad's treatment was not going 100% as planned. And he had to actually sit me down and talk about the options of who else is going to have to walk me down the aisle. And to me, that was, my heart just sank. And, you never want to think about that because your dad is just going to walk you down the aisle. But thankfully, my dad's treatment went amazing. He is cancer-free today, was able to walk me down the aisle. Nice. And I've been able to meet so many people in the determination program, specifically in the Pittsburgh area. Every single one of my runners has an amazing story. You can't find someone who's running in this program that does not have a connection, whether it's in their own family, themselves, or someone that they love, or someone they went to school with or grew up with. It's just, you can't find that anywhere else in any other community. Right. And I have specifically one runner who, she was the very first person to join our team 3 years ago when we jumped back into the Pittsburgh Marathon. And she is a ray of sunshine. You will never see her without a smile on her face. She's always gung-ho for everything. Her running journey has been incredible to follow. But about 2 months into our program and her fundraising for us, she did end up losing her mother, who she was running for, to cancer. So she has just been amazing through the whole thing. I always tell people, she comes to our group runs and participates in Marathon Weekend, and you would never know that she's lost someone because she is just so upbeat and so involved in everybody else's life and, wants to be there for other people. And she's also very vocal on social media about getting your screenings and being aware of the mission. So she's just, one of those people that I aspire to be because she's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be, a huge part. And I fortunately haven't had anyone pass, from cancer. So I don't have any personal experience, but I have to imagine that when something like that happens, one of the greatest ways to maybe mourn and move on is to create a legacy and to be able to jump into a program like the Run for a Reason program or the, team determination that you guys have. And just to feel like the spirit of that person that you love so much is living on and you're just continuing to fight for them through all these other people, which is, it's incredible. And so that's, I think, to me, at least, when I see Run for a Reason, when I see what you guys do with team determination, I'm just like, this is the heart and soul of it. It is continuing the legacy for the people who haven't, who weren't able to win the fight, and then giving hope to the people who still are fighting. And yeah, it's pretty neat. Team determination. So I just dove into that today. I looked at what you guys are doing, and it's just incredible. I mean, you guys are one of the largest fundraising groups for Run for a Reason. You're just at the top of the billing whenever I go onto P3R's website or the marathon website, and it's got to feel good. I mean, to be a part of any charity program has got to feel good. But how does it feel? You guys how many people do you have on your team?
So the last year was our highest, and we had, I do believe, about 156 people, which was amazing. And when we jumped into this 3 years ago, I had an expectation of raising like $15,000, having 20 runners. And that first year we ended up with over 100 runners and raising $80,000. And it does help that the Run for a Reason program is so well promoted and engaged in our community. And it asks our runners, actively if they want to fundraise for a charity, because there's a lot of leg work that charity coordinators have to do on their own, and to have P3R there helping out with that, it makes a world of difference. I don't believe we would be where we're at without their help. And I have to say, all the other charity coordinators that I've met during this process have been amazing. There's so many different charities out there that I never think of them as competition. Right. I'm thinking we're a community, we're fundraising together, we're working together, we're all in a common goal of finding a cure for what we're fighting for. So the entire program has honestly just been a blessing in my portfolio.
Very cool.
That's a good point. I'm always impressed. We have the mixers and the get-togethers, and you guys don't look at it as competition or competitors. You guys are talking to each other about what you're doing unique to gain more runners, and somebody might be like, well, that's a great idea. I'm going to do, you know what I mean? And it's it's really a team effort. And I think that's so important because there are so many different charities, but we want to be able to give back to all of them. So the teamwork on this Run for a Reason program it has always impressed me. I'm like, I'd be trying to get more runners. I'm not telling anybody my secrets. And they're like, yeah, we're doing this and this. I'm like, this is great. This is tremendous. So kudos to you guys.
Oh yeah. And it makes sense. There's so many, you look down the list of the official charities that are there with partnered for the marathon, and they're all great charities. They all deserve people running for them. And so, how can you not get behind everyone else? And just, I feel like when one team gets stronger, you guys all get stronger.
Absolutely. And when I'm always running into people who are already signed up for the marathon and can go in there and choose a charity, if they're not signed up for a charity, I'm like, just go in there and look at them. I'm sure you can find something that resonates with you.
Right.
And then, you never know.
I think, getting back to Emma's point, I think everybody has, looking at the list when you go to register, I mean, you can find a charity that you're passionate about.
Yep.
There's everything on there. So, I think the great thing is the reason why they probably don't look at it as competitors, because there's so much room to grow. Like, 10-15% of our runners are charity runners, which is a great number. I mean, it's 3,000, but there's still another 85% of people that aren't running for a charity. And I think that's the reason why we've put so much marketing behind it, because we see it an unbelievable opportunity for the charities. Even if we got that to 20%, that's an extra 2,000 people, 1,800 people, and 20 of them might run for Emma. 20 of them might run from Children's Hospital. 20 of them might run for Lemieux Foundation. So it's still breaking out.
Sure.
But Emma just made an extra, raised an extra $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and so did everybody else. So I think the accessibility is great. And we're going to continue to focus on making sure we get that number up to 20%.
Yeah. Well, and Emma, I'm not sure if you know about this yet, but I have a sneaking suspicion you might. This is news to me. And it's something that I was so excited to talk about whenever I, read it on the copy going into today's episode, is that in 2021, we're going to be offering, you're nodding, you know what's going on here. So this is for our viewers, our listeners, and for me to get really pumped up about right now. We're offering, so the first 500 charity runners that meet their goals, they are going to be given this VIP experience, truly like a red carpet experience of running the back half of the marathon. So they'll do a half marathon, but the back half of the course, which I think is just the coolest thing ever, because I'm a half marathon runner. I don't know if I'll ever fall into that crazy category of the marathon. So I've never seen the back half. I mean, I've seen it because I lived in Highland Park for a year and I saw all those areas, but I've never gotten to run it. And so I just think it's such a cool thing. And I'm interested to see what your take is on it. If you think it's as cool as I do.
It is so cool. I am so excited about it because, as charities, we're always trying to think of new ways to recruit. And this is just the easiest opportunity for us to recruit. Hey, raise $1,500 for a charity that you're passionate about and get this really unique experience that nobody else is going to have except for this year, our first 500. So we actually already have a girl who registered over the weekend, and she is $300 away from hitting that.
Nice. That's awesome.
Gung-ho. She wants to run that. And that's what I like to see. Even when you said, you're a half marathoner, people who do races consistently year after year are always looking for something new too. So this might be able to pull in a few people who have never been charity runners before and have been doing the Pittsburgh half marathon or full marathon and want that different experience. So we're excited to see how it happens.
Technically, it's a brand new race. I mean, this is like a never before run race in Pittsburgh. And it's got to be, talk about like the most perfect incentive for people to hop on board, and for the people who have been on board to just like, it lights the fire. It's like, oh man, someone might steal those top 500 spots. And very
You guys are getting me excited.
I'm pumped. When I read that,
I'm the one that needs to execute it. I mean, you guys are, I'm getting nervous now. Everybody's excited.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be awesome. I mean, we're super excited about it. It's something that, we've talked about as an organization for a long time, but we wanted to figure out a way to implement the Run for a Reason program into it, because that's just a no-brainer. I mean, $750,000 right off the bat that we know it's going to get distributed somehow to charities. So it was important for us to make sure that, first off, it was feasible. That was the big thing. Yeah. We make sure we could actually pull it off, which we can. So we're excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. What better group more deserving group to be able to do it, to get that.
Well, it might be honestly, it might be a once in a lifetime thing too.
Right. Yeah.
It might be the only time you run a half marathon on the back half of the Pittsburgh Marathon course.
Yeah. And I mean,
we'll see how it goes. I mean,
it's a legit way to advertise it, because who knows? It could just be like, we can't do that again. So that's it.
Well, just so we raise $1 million this year for charity, that would be a good way to go out. One and done, $1 million to charity.
Totally. Go out on a high note for sure. So Emma, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Outside of American Cancer Society, what are your passions? I looked and I saw that you are a holistic health and nutrition coach. Is that correct?
Yes. So this is a fairly newer addition to my life, and it stemmed from several years of having, my own personal health issues going on and not finding answers. So I decided to take it into my own hands. And when quarantine hit and I was at home a lot more, I decided this is the perfect time to take the leap. So I got my certification in it, and not only will that help in my personal life, and has helped, but it also helps me be able to coach my runners better, because a lot of times runners come to us and either they have never run before or they're looking to get better at it. And one of the top things is nutrition. And I never felt qualified to offer nutritional advice when I couldn't even figure out how to make it work for myself. So now I feel like I can offer my runners a little bit more. So it goes hand in hand. And then outside of that, I'm also a photographer. So don't slow down much.
Yes. And I wanted to bring that up because we work in the same industry, and I saw some of the photos that you shoot, and it looks like you do, a lot of portraits, a lot of senior photos, but I'm a wedding DJ, and that's my main business. And so it was just cool. I was like, man, we work in the same industry. I hope that we can work together at some point. It was just neat to see. Well, I mean, just getting back to running, because I don't know if we focused a lot on just, obviously you got involved with the American Cancer Society at a young age, but have you been running for a very long time as well? When did you start getting into racing specifically?
So I've been running consistently probably for about 8 years. I did track in high school, but I was always short distance. I did hurdles and I was done.
Wow.
I never wanted to do more than the 300-meter hurdles. I was like, heck no, we're not doing that.
Well, it's a hard event. That like hurdles for me, never. I can't do it. But to do it over 300 meters, that would make me not want to go any further in any capacity.
Yeah, the 100 meters hurdles were my favorite, but I never thought of myself as an endurance runner, and neither did my track coach. She specifically told me I would never be an endurance runner.
Gotta love that, right?
And that stuck with me for a long time. Whenever I thought about going out for a run, I was like, no, I'm not an endurance runner. I can't run. And then I was ending college and entering the real world, and I needed an outlet to just do something. So I called up one of my track buddies who was an endurance runner. She got a full ride to college on it. And I was like, hey, teach me how to run. I need to do this.
Yeah.
So she started running with me. And we started doing some local 5Ks, and, she was always so gracious. Even though she could have swept everyone behind her, she stayed back in the slow group with me and would cross the finish line at the same time as me. So I cannot thank of her enough. But I did not start racing until in like a 10K or more distance until probably around 2015. I think 2016 was my first half marathon. And like you, I am a half marathoner.
All the way.
I did a full last year, and it took a lot out of me. I loved the experience. I got to run with my dad. So that was really fun. But I honestly don't know if I will do a full again, but I will cheer everybody else on who wants to do a full.
Which full did you do?
I did Grandma's Marathon.
Oh, you did Grandma's? All right, nice.
Yeah.
Did you send your track coach a picture of you crossing the finish line?
Right.
I would have.
No.
Yes, seriously.
First thing I would have done. Hey, look at me.
So as far as P3R events go, what are some of the races that you run with us?
For P3R, I did the relay team in the marathon for about 4 years in a row.
Fun. Yeah.
And you guys do the Great Race, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to get that straight.
Yeah, you're good.
I have done the Great Race and the 10-miler. I love the 10-miler, and I love the second leg of the relay. That's always my favorite.
Yeah. So you like going through the south side because that's the second leg of the relay, right? Goes through the
it's
south
over
side.
West End Bridge.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Gotcha.
And everyone hates running over West End Bridge, but I find it invigorating. I don't know why.
Well, it's one of the best. It's one of the best views of the city. I mean, when you turn to your left and you just see the point there, it's iconic. So
yes, I actually have never run the half in Pittsburgh. It's a bucket list of mine, but I honestly am very focused on all the runners that weekend. So I just don't want to miss out on the opportunity of making their day the best it can be when I'm worried about myself.
Well, so let's talk about that really quickly, Emma. And, hopefully you have a little bit more time with us to spare here because you've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So on the day of the marathon, as, a charity coordinator, what's your role? It sounds like to me that you're not running. You're just out there like cheering people on, making sure that everybody's good to go. Maybe tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So race day comes and we are down in Market Square first thing in the morning for gear check, last minute bathroom trips, and group photos because we want to make sure everybody is ready to go. They've got enough safety pins for their bibs. They've got their course ready. They're on a relay team. They need to know where they need to be at what time. So we're down there bright and early, making sure everybody knows what's going on. And then we actually have people walk each group to the correct corral that they need to be in, especially if they're first-time runners. Like that can be so nerve-wracking if you're not in the right corral at the right time.
Tens of thousands of people, just it's chaos down there. Yeah.
So, and then we head over straight to the 6.2 water station, which is my second favorite water station because we get to watch everybody come flying around that corner. So I stand there and we have volunteers that hand out water for P3R. And we also grab some photos of our runners. And I have a ginormous cowbell that I ring. And
I saw it. I saw it on your Facebook. It's next level.
If I had $1 for every time like somebody yelled out more cowbell, I'd be able to just fund all the charity programs.
Perfect.
But it's a great feeling. And then after the majority of the runners go by there, I actually run over to mile 25.4 to that water station, and that's where I kind of stay the rest of the day. And that is my absolute favorite water station. Not just at Pittsburgh, the mile 25 is like my place to be at any race.
Home stretch.
You've got so many emotions going on. You've got people who are like, they know they're in the last half mile and they're booking it, they're ready to go. And you've got the people who are saying, please tell me the finish line is close. And you're like, yes, absolutely, right around the corner. Like, you got this. So it's just an incredible feeling to have people running by you that have been running for almost 26.2 miles. And you never know if just like your smile and the volunteers' smile when they're handing them water is the last thing that's pushing them around that corner. So that's my favorite spot. And then depending on how tired I am after that, I might head to some post-race festivities. But we're looking forward to doing more post-race in the upcoming years. We've had a lot of runners. I always thought that runners would want to be with their families and their loved ones after the race. So we never really did anything. But we've been finding that a lot of runners are like, hey, we'd love to see you after the race. And I'm like, I feel so honored. So we're going to work on doing some stuff after the race in the upcoming years.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So you've got your hands full. And I mean, do you have any of your runners? Because Troy, you can run for a reason anytime on marathon weekend, correct? So you can do those miles
5K,
in the 5K,
relay, half.
So I'm assuming that you have runners who are doing some stuff on Saturday as well, right?
We have people that participate in almost every section of race weekend with us, including the toddler trot. We have an incredible little guy named Preston who raises over $500 for us to do the toddler trot.
Gosh, wow. Awesome.
I got to meet Preston.
Yeah, what a hero.
So cute. And so we catch them at the toddler trot on the weekend, and our 5Kers who are going through on Saturday, we cheer them on and try and grab some photos of them. Yeah. And then we'll head into Sunday. So I'm aiming to get people for the pet walk because I really want to see some dogs and some determination bandanas.
Well, and that was going to be my next question. So do you involve Novella in any of your fundraising? Does she go out and run? Does she log miles?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She, the main reason we got her was so I had a running buddy on the trails because my husband is my biggest supporter on the sidelines. He won't run as much. He was not going to run with me, and that's totally okay. So we got a dog, and she goes to a lot of local 5Ks with me. She's actually ran a couple with me, which is exciting. I have not taken her to any large races. I would love to be able to, but I think she'd be a little bit sensory overload because she is a doodle, so she's very hyper, and she would just want to play with everyone. So I'm working on it.
Yeah, we've got a Bernese Mountain Dog, my wife and I do, and it's the same thing. He's just like the biggest cuddler, and he's so sweet, but I just think the crowds would drive him too nuts. And I bring him into P3R every once in a while because everyone loves him here. And every time I'm here, they're like, gotta get him in the pet walk. And every time I come home from the office here, I go to tell my wife, I'm like, we gotta get him in the pet walk. Well, that's just cool that, the four-legged friends, the toddlers, they can raise money for a reason as well.
Yes.
And I think Emma talking about, she's unable to participate in our events race weekend because essentially she's treating her charity runners to VIP all weekend. Yeah. I think that's an important part of the charity program. All these coordinators do a great job making sure that, you know where to park, like Emma mentioned, you know how to get to a corral. You're there when they finish. So I think that, people don't really, that haven't participated in the charity program or haven't participated for a charity don't understand, like they take care of a lot of things for you. You know what I mean? Like they give you a lot of ideas to not only just be able to fundraise, but to make race weekend easy. And, Emma having 156 people last year, she's in charge of 156 people to make sure that their race experience is the best. And that's why I think our team works so well together with the charity coordinators, because essentially you're an arm of us on race weekend to make sure that people have a great experience. Yeah. It's super important.
It is important. There's so much to think about, so many things to do, so many ducks to get in a row. I used to, whenever I was doing triathlon, if there was most of the races I did, my coach wasn't in. He was a triathlete as well, but he did the full Ironman distance. So a lot of times he'd be there as he called himself my Sherpa. And, those Sherpas are invaluable. I mean, they almost make it so that you really don't have to think about anything except putting one foot in front of the other. And it takes so much stress off your shoulders. So what you're doing is, for so many reasons, just incredible. Yeah.
I think that the Run for a Reason is the perfect place for a beginner runner to start, somebody who's never done anything, even a 5K or something longer than a 5K, because like you said, we're taking a lot off their plate. So they can honestly just jump in and enjoy the race weekend, because it can be very overwhelming for someone who's never been down to a big race weekend before. So I always encourage beginner runners and even beginner walkers who want to walk the half marathon in the time limit, like join a charity program, because your coordinator is going to, take care of you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's important.
It's very cool. Another big incentive to just join up and raise some money and run for a reason. Couple other really interesting things that I just want to jump into. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now with Team Determination. And I believe it evolved from running across the nation now to running across the globe. Is that what's happening?
Yes, we started out with a virtual event called Determination Runs the Country, and it was a huge success. Our expectations were blown out of the water again, and we actually were able to cover the distance of the country 3 times in 1 week with all the participants we had.
1 week. Wow.
1 week. Yeah. And it was running, walking, and hiking. So we were including a lot of people. We didn't want to deter anyone from getting out and moving their body and getting some exercise by saying the word just running. We wanted, walkers to be included. And when we saw how popular it was, we were like, hey, let's just do this again, but go big or go home. So we're like, let's just do the globe. So we are doing Determination Takes on the World right now. And the reason we took the runs out of it is because we're doing running, walking, hiking, biking, swimming, cycling, rollerblading, paddleboarding, kayaking, because we got water to cross. And this is our last week. And I do believe as of this morning, we're about 7,500 miles away from reaching our goal of 30,000 plus miles. And
awesome.
It's been incredible. We have a very engaging Facebook group where people are posting photos. We have bikers that are going over 1,000 miles in this challenge, and they're posting images every day of their route and where they're going. And we have walkers out there who are cancer survivors saying they're so thankful they found this event because they needed the motivation to get out there and move their bodies with everything going on. So it's been an honor to be a part of it, because I get to read all the stories, and makes me happy.
You guys are it's almost sick how close in like how good of a relationship you and P3R are. I mean, it's just like you guys are mirror images of each other. It's unbelievable. What a good fit.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. It's just the same values and the same goals. It's really
Getting people to move.
Yes.
Well, let us know what's so how can we follow? You said a Facebook page. Do you just type in determination on Facebook? How do we find you guys, and how do we keep up with the globe trotting?
So if you type in determination in Facebook, you're probably going to find several different pages, but that's okay because depending on the area that you're from, we have a Chicago, a New York, a Northeast, which is our main. And then we do have a specific Pittsburgh determination group on Facebook. We also have an Instagram page, and we have a Strava group. We have several Strava groups depending on which region you're in the US, so you can train with us. And then we have individual groups on Facebook for training for fall and spring and whatnot. So when you become a part of Team Determination in any way, we say you're always a part of Team Determination. So we just really love to keep them moving.
Keep them moving.
There you go.
Perfect. That's so cool. Well, best of luck in the last week here. I'm sure you guys are going to make it. No problem.
We're going to crush it.
We'll be cheering for you. Definitely. So the one thing this stood out to me, maybe most of all, is that you worked in a ice cream parlor for 7 years, which I think is super cool for a lot of reasons, because I think things like ice cream, things like chocolate, things like candy, they get such a bad rap in nutrition world, in the running community, and rightfully so if you do it at excess. But it's, you've got to reward yourself from time to time. And so I wanted to hear a little bit more about your experience there, about your love for ice cream, and how as a runner and as a nutritionist, how you feel about ice cream. And I'm hoping I'm teeing you up to say, hey guys, it's okay to eat ice cream and run.
I know where this is going. Yeah. Sell us on ice cream.
Yeah. That's what I want, because I need to know. It's okay. Tell me it's okay, Emma.
I am more than happy to plug my ice cream shop because I still frequent there today. It's called Kristen's Ice Cream Corner in Katanning, PA, and it is homemade hard scooped ice cream. So reason why I love this is because it's very good base, but also the ingredients that she uses. Like when she makes her strawberry hard scooped ice cream, she's going to the store or the local farmer market and getting the strawberries and making them right there and putting it in the ingredients.
Oh yes.
So it's just with everything, you got to balance it. If you're sitting down eating ice cream every night and not moving your body, it's not going to be great for you. If you're exercising and eating the ice cream too, that's okay. I actually have a coach that I look up to who eats ice cream on the treadmill. So
oh yes. Wow. There we go.
That's a power move by the coach.
Right.
Wow.
So yeah.
It's the cutest store. I mean, I didn't drive out there yet, but just from doing some Google research, it just looks so cute. Like right there on just kind of this corner place. It's awesome. So
if you ever come out, I'll buy you some ice cream.
My wife and I were on our way very soon. We'll make our way. Normally we stop in Springdale and we just go to Glenn's Custard, but we'll just keep moving. We'll keep moving up the river and make it out to you guys. You can just do an ice cream tour. Yes.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I will have to say one more thing on that though. She specifically makes dairy-free ice cream for those of you who are looking for it.
That's my wife.
Became dairy intolerant while working there. So I had to stop eating the main ice cream, and then she started bringing in dairy-free options. So she does have that for those who are looking.
Perfect. That's awesome. Even my dog might be able to get something too. We'll see.
They have a pup cup.
Yes.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, thank you. That confirms it's another reason to move, people. Yeah. It's another reason to move. Keep moving, and you can eat ice cream without having any guilt.
Moderation.
In moderation. Thank you, Troy. Thank you. Very cool.
You're welcome.
Well, yeah. Emma, this has been fantastic. Those are all my questions that I have. Troy, I don't know if you have anything else that you want.
We got the whammy. We got the last question of the day.
Yeah. The ice cream one.
No, the surprise. Oh, come on.
There's a surprise question. All right.
EB, let's go.
That's it, man. I'm sorry. I've been out of practice here.
I teed you up for it. Go ahead.
Thank you. So Emma, we put all of our guests on the spot because we like to do that to them. And we ask you this question. All of our guests have been asked the same question. And it is the one thing that Emma has about her that would surprise everyone. What is it?
Okay.
And we've been through a lot. I feel like we've really weaved in like
we've had a wide array of answers, all very good. Very good.
I use this actually a lot when we do icebreakers, that 2 truths and a lie. So I'll give you one of my truths.
Perfect.
I played ice hockey for almost 12 years.
Wow. Whoa.
Not just women's. I played on the men's team for a little bit too.
Get out. What was your
position? Sorry.
So I ranged from, I was mainly center, but I would go back to defense sometimes. So those were my 2.
And how did that start? Like, what made you as a kid just say, hey, I want to play hockey? Did you start skating and then you had a good hand out? Like,
I pretty much could skate before I could walk because I was born in North Dakota. So,
well, that's it then. You have to be a hockey player.
Parents just take you out and put you on an ice pond and they're like, here, figure it out.
Yeah. Nice. Give you a stick and a ball and say, here, figure this out too. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for telling your story. Thank you so much for what you do as a charity coordinator and through American Cancer Society. It means a lot, not just our organization, but the community. I mean, you guys are a vital part of what we do. So thank you once again.
No, thank you guys. As always, P3R, you are absolutely amazing. And this program would not be successful on our end without you guys. So my gratitude extends so much to you.
Awesome. Keep up the great work, Emma. We're going to do our sign off here, but we hope you'll hang on with us for just a moment longer. Very cool. That's going to do it, guys, for episode 7, I believe, of Behind the Start Line. We want to thank our special guest, Emma Craven, for being here with us today. Thank you, Emma. And Troy, how we do?
Another good one. Another great guest, great topic, another great discussion. It's always a good time, Eric.
Tons of fun stuff. Folks, we hope you enjoyed yourselves as much as we did. As always, you can reach out to us at Run with P3R in all the major social media platforms. That's where you can check in with us, rather. And you can email us at behindtheline@p3r.org. Again, that's behindtheline@p3r.org to ask us questions and share a shout out that could be featured in an upcoming episode. And that just segues into our first question that we're going to be sharing with everyone. We had someone reach out to us recently, and they asked us, this is Jennifer from Uniontown. Jennifer says, first off, thank you, P3R, for continuing to keep me moving. That's awesome, Jennifer. Thank you. We're glad you continue to. Her question is, what do you guys think races will look like moving forward in 2021 and beyond? Do you think races will go away? No way. Or cut back on participant swag or perks? That's an interesting question. And then she says, thanks.
Great question. Well, first off, Jennifer gets a free 412 shirt for sending an email. So anytime we read a question on there, free 412 shirt. So
there's some swag right there. It's
going to be going to Jennifer's way in Uniontown. That's a tremendous question. And, I think I've been asked this a lot. Do I think events are going to go away? Unfortunately, some events are going to go away. What the pandemic has done to some events, mainly the fundraising events, I think it's definitely affecting them. Do I think events are going to cut participant swag? I don't think so. I mean, we can't wait to get back to the start line on 2021. Everything's going to be the same, if not better. We know we need to get people back. We need to, we need to make sure that they're comfortable. One thing though that I want to say about Jennifer's question, what we're seeing out there is, a lot of people changing to virtual, a lot of events just changing to virtual to be able to sustain, survive. I think it's important for the participants to continue to, give back to these races. And I'm not just saying P3R, but there's a lot of fundraising events out there that go to special fundraisers and, they might do local 5Ks and, people are disappointed that they're canceled. But, if you have $25 to register for a virtual 5K for a charity of your choice, please do it. We just gave back $10,000 to 9 local races just to be able to help them sustain throughout 2020 and get into 21. We don't want races to go away, whether they're P3R races or not. Our races aren't going away. But there's so many of our participants that love local 5Ks that they go to in their neighborhood or, whether it's North Park or, like I said, a fundraiser. So, I encourage people to continue to register for these events, whether they're live or virtual. And I'm sure that 21 will be back at some point. but we don't want to lose some of these local events. So
well, like,
Jennifer, great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. They're like, it's very akin to small businesses. You know, we really need to support our small businesses right now. And these races, you know, are the small business equivalent of races. So keep them alive, keep them going, because they all have heart and soul to them. And we need to see them back in action in 2021.
That's what it is.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Jennifer. Great kickoff to our email questions, and we hope to see many, many more in the future on future episodes of Behind the Start Line. Guys, thank you so much again for joining with us. We really appreciate all of you that are listening out there. Keep it up. We hope you'll continue to tune in, and we'll see you guys next time on Behind the Start Line. Again, I'm your host, Eric Burnett. Until then, have fun and keep moving.